Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to From the Ashes Shorts.
Hey,
And
I'm having regrets, man. I should have brought the bacon with me.
you should have. You still have a chance to go back and get it.
I can't now. Family's over there eating it like a pack of wild dogs. Even the dogs are eating it like a pack of wild dogs.
I would fight a dog for that.
Just
But
saying, you can suplex any breed of dog.
that's true. That's true. But then they'll bite you.
What about
So
Yeah,
dogs?
so as I was saying, we're here with our shorts today, but of course, it's only short in name. Here in a couple weeks, we're going to be changing the whole aspect of the shorts. But as for right now, we're getting it's like the what is it, like the bearded lady? Instead of the bearded lady, you get the bearded man. This is literally, a long short. So a regular episode. But we are almost through. We're on episode Ben 10. And
Yep.
it's crazy because next week is our last week for Ben 10. We got our 11th episode coming, and I will hardly be a part of that episode except for one part. So other than that, we've done it, guys. Almost. We're getting close, and this week we are going over which aliens, Arson?
Today we shall know. What did you want me to do again?
the Transylvania aliens. Never mind. Anyways,
I will go as we go.
So, anyways, no. I wasn't gonna say which ones, but we're just saying that which one, what type. But anyways,
I was going to literally call them all out, man.
Oh no. You know what I want you to do though? I want you to call out all the other ones. But Grim, how about I let you do that instead, Grim? So let's do a quick recap. And like always, if you're watching this on the U of Tubes, Tube of U's, whatever, if you're watching this on YouTube, they should be popping up momentarily as Grim starts off in S tier. Go for it, Grim.
Alright, we have in S tier Diamond Head, Cannonbolt, Wrath, Swampfire, Ultimate Echo Echo, Accelerate, Upgrade, Heat Blast, Big Chill, Feedback, Humongosaur, Ultimate Swampfire, Clockwork, and the armor version of NRG. In A tier, we have Forearms, Armadillo, Atomics, Ultimate Humongosaur, the radiation form of NRG, Ripjaws, both forms of Upchuck, Goop, and Upgrade. Oh my goodness, Gray Matter. In B tier, we have Brainstorm, Gravitack, Ultimate Cannonbolt, Shock Squatch, Terra Spin, Wild Mutt, Spider Monkey, Ball Weevil, Eatle, Blocks, Wild Shut up! Wild Vine, Gut Rot, Ditto, Chromastone, Amphibian, and Eye Guy. And in C tier, we have Lodestar, Echo Echo, Jet Ray, Aerodactyl, Articuana, Mustache, Jerry Rig, Stink. Alright, you know what? Buzzshock, Kick and Hawk, Nanomech, Ultimate Spider Monkey, Hazard, Water Hazard, Pesky Dust, Bullfrag, Ultimate Big Chill, Crash Hopper, the worst.
Is in D tier, by the way.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, D tier. Spitter, Topic, Overkill, Disgrace, and Fast Track.
Disgrace. So
Now,
that's
before we get started, I can't believe I'm saying this. Because I know these guys will never take it back, will have to issue a small apology to Ultimate Wild Mutt because he does in fact have more than one scene.
Does he?
Can't
It
save
was
him.
when he was fighting the what was it, the cultists or something like that. He turned into Ultimate Wild Mutt and actually started mangling them a bit. And there you go. There.
Huh.
He showed up in more than one scene, so yes, he did have more than one use.
So that reading took about a little over a minute and a half to complete.
Yep.
That
It'd take even longer for the last episode.
aren't you happy that you're doing it?
Not really.
Well, that was what we were talking about. I gave him the option, and he's like, "I'll do this episode and save the last one for Arson." Not only
What?
will Arson, not only
I
will
got
Arson announce it for the next episode, but he's also going to announce the final tally of where everybody is. That's going to be excellent because he gets to do it twice in one episode. So perfect, right? So, anyways, other than that, though, we're going to be talking about some interesting aliens. I mean, every episode has interesting aliens, except for Ultimate Wildmutt, and that disgrace that's behind him.
Yeah.
But let's kick it off with Ghost Freak. Who wants to start on Ghost Freak?
I mean, what? Nothing to say. Ghost Freak is a certified classic.
I mean,
He's one of the original 10. He was rarely used by Ben, but when he was used, it was always standout. Ghost Freak was literally not like the other aliens in the sense that he was basically a supernatural like ghost, but alien. No, it helped that to try and like fit him in. They gave him the more cartoony ghost look, but the more horrifying stuff was on the inside because that was just like his outer skin
mm-hmm.
that was covering the real juicy stuff on the inside. And Ghost Freak is definitely one of my favorite aliens. He's really up there. Not only that, but he became his own villain.
Yeah, he did.
The first alien to break out of the watch because he gained sentience. And that's the thing with ectoneurites, is that their consciousness can still remain even in the smallest strands of their DNA. So when Azimuth went out and got the sample for Ghost Freak, he unknowingly put a ticking time bomb into the watch, and it gave birth to this guy. Now there are questions out there as to, well, if he got the sample from, Ghost Freak, does that now mean there are two Ghost Freaks out there, like the scares? That's up for debate. Don't know if it's ever been answered. I don't have that knowledge. It's something interesting to ponder about, though. But yeah, he was the first one to break out. And he's been on a bit of a hiatus since then. Ghost Freak was never used by Ben. Up until the an Ultimate Alien, when the Ultimates also gained sentience and tried to kill Ben from inside the Ultimatrix. Ben actually turned into Ghost Freak to escape them for a moment.
And then he used them again in Omniverse.
Yeah, but then early on, back in Alien Force, when Scare was taking over Vilgax's homeworld, Ben actually captured him in the watch for a moment and actually turned into him. Not the normal classic-looking Ghost Freak that we know. He turned into the more monstrous-looking one, like his skin torn off and everything. You see, like, all his tendrils and stuff. That didn't really work out since Discare immediately possessed him right after, but it all turned out fine. But yeah, he showed up back in his normal classic form in Ultimate Alien, and then he fully came back as an alien back in Omniverse, and Ben wasn't very happy to see him.
It was really strange to see him.
Granted that now the finalized version of the Omnitrix made it so, like, it was for sure not going to have another Ziscare situation where an ectoneurite would, spawn and, well, not spawn, but like pop out and just be like, "You imprisoned me, I'm gonna hate you forever now."
Yeah.
But more like it literally can't. So, and that's why in Omniverse you have like the chains all over him, the aesthetic change. I like the chains. A lot of people don't like the chains, but I think they're a very nice design.
It was different.
Also to signify
you
that he
know?
won't, break out again.
Right, right. But it
But
was different.
I love Ghost Freak so much. He's a really special alien to me. And I was really sad to see him go when he popped out like he did. But the trade-off is that we got Cannonbolt, and I'm very happy with that.
Mhm.
Because it also still means that we got a baller villain out of it. And in terms of just sheer abilities, he has a lot of your typical ghost stuff. He can possess, he can go intangible, can go through things, invisibility, all that lovely, awesome stuff that a ghost can do. But the thing that sets him apart from a lot of supernatural renditions is that, of course, he's still an alien, so you gotta give him those freaky tendrils on the inside and all that. And, like, when Zscair possessed Ben for a moment, back when him and the gang went to a university or something for Gwen, so she could like see if she could get enrolled or something. They fought the carnival freaks, the Zombozo's crew, and in an episode before that, like I recall you guys remember when Ben turned into Ghost Freak to scare Zombozo to death. Literally,
Yes. Yes.
he
Mm-hmm.
he exploded, and that was a golden moment for Ghost Freak because you want to see something really scary, and then he opens up his like chest and like you see the tendrils and everything just pop out, and like Zombozo literally just explodes.
Yeah, that was
He was
pretty
so
cool.
terrified that he couldn't handle it, but like that was such a golden moment for Ghost Freak. But later on, when like Ben faces off against his lackeys again, he turns into Ghost Freak unknowingly, and that's when Zscair really starts taking over and is like, you're really gonna regret this. And Ghost Freak is surprisingly strong. um, he's he messed them up quite good. One vicious moment I remember is like, what was it? The chick with like the hair that she can control.
Mhm.
Like she wrapped
Yup.
it around
Yup.
Ghost Freak's wrist, and like he grabbed it, but went intangible, went into the ground and yanked her down. And then when she smacked her face onto the floor, he grabbed her face again from up under the floor and kept smacking her until she fell unconscious. Dude, that is some vicious stuff, and I love that so much because that is like right off the bat, that's not Ben.
Yeah.
Ben would not do that. And like he even scared Gwen in I think he got like hit with like the very heavy like gym mattress. And he flipped that off and he just continued fighting. But
Mhm.
like man, the combat potential for Ghost Freak is so cool. Like I really love him a lot as a transformation. And I did not like it that much that we barely saw him. Well, honestly, like it was pretty obvious that we couldn't see him. He was out of the watch. There's no possible way for Ben to turn into him again, even if he wanted to, which he wouldn't, because the scare is one of the villains that literally gave Ben PTSD. He was that scared of the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, reasonably so.
Yeah, Ghost Freak was like a real, even like, I guess he kind of took up the moniker a bit. Like he was a scare, but like he did take the moniker of Ghost Freak a bit. That was until Ben turned into, Ghost Freak again. But yeah, like that would, aside from Alien X, because Ben is also pretty much very hesitant and kind of afraid of turning into him. I think Ghost Freak is like one of the only aliens that Ben is actively afraid of turning into or running into.
Mhm.
And that really makes him unique. Like honestly, uh until like I know you guys have your own opinions, but he's already like an S tier alien. Like the moment we made this list, like I already knew the second we got to Ghost Freak, he was going to be S tier because not only do I love him as a transformation, he made a great villain. He's also a complicated situation, which I guess you guys are probably going to have to discuss among yourselves because while he is an alien, but also at the same time he isn't, because that's still Ghost Freak, but that isn't like something that Ben can turn into. And if I remember correctly, we didn't really take much into consideration when it came to other aliens, just Ben as the transformation for the most part. I know we took that into like a small account, but that's honestly up to you guys. But that's my rate. That's my tie rate. S
I
tier.
mean,
I'm
that was a 15-minute tirade. So
Exactly.
like I I will just say this about him and move on. Like he had so much prominence, even though he may have not been used as much. He had so much prominence with his storyline and everything that made him like go towards the front, And then when he was used again, like, and not just talking about the alien form, I'm talking about actually Ghost Freak's, villain side was used again in Omniverse. That really, it brought him back out. Like, okay, use him again, and then you see Ben turn into his former Ghost Freak in Omniverse, and get to see that again. And I really do like this guy. He did make a really good villain. He was the first one to split apart, and yeah, I mean,
such a gnarly transformation scene as well.
yeah.
And both accounts, actually, both in the original series and in Alien Force. Like in Alien Force, you literally see Ben's skull turn upside down.
Yeah.
That was some wicked stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd be okay with putting him up that high because of his prominence and how much he affected the show. And just like when you scare a clown to death, that's something. That's something.
Scare him so badly he
explodes. So yeah, I'm okay. I don't think he should be. Anyways, well, we'll wait to hear from Graham. Graham, go ahead.
I mean, he's cool. It's okay. Okay, before you freak out, it's kind of an Echo situation for me. I like a lot of the stuff that he's done, and his storyline is cool. But like I just really don't care for his design.
How can you not like his design?
It's just super bland. I just don't really like it. I do like the Omniverse one because the chains are cool, and he feels right. Okay, he doesn't feel. He felt more ghostly in the original, but he looks more ghostly in Omniverse, if that makes sense. But other than that, like, yeah, no, he's fine. Again, really cool story. Absolutely, like, stuff that the scare with Zombozo, who could forget that? And him plowing the she had weighted like balls on her hair, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he just slams her face repeatedly into the ground. That was funny. But I mean, yeah, no, he's cool. He's cool, but he's not okay. No, I don't want to say not anything special. He's just not. He hasn't left an impact to me nearly as much as Assassin. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not even on me. He literally had an impact on the whole show.
Okay, yeah, but like, I just don't care.
So it's funny. I knew he was gonna not say much about him when he first started off with. He's cool. I knew where he was going with that. So
I already knew it. Like, yeah, it's nothing really like that nobody knows about.
But I didn't know that he was felt that way until he was like, okay. So I'm like, well, all right, well, yeah. I know where this is going. All right, so
yeah, I'm pretty indifferent. He's S tier. You can put him in S tier.
I think he just doesn't want another Echo incident.
Well, no, because I mean, if I felt that way, I would argue, but I don't. Like I genuinely like Ghost Freak much more than I like Echo.
Well, okay, so I like Ghost Freak, but I can't put him. I don't think I could put him above XLR8. I just couldn't.
Well, What was it? What was his name again? That blonde dude who sucks the life energy out of people.
Darkstar?
Yeah,
Darkstar.
Darkstar. He if I remember, and I do because I love Ghost Freak. It was in Omniverse when like he came back and like Ben turned into Ghost Freak and like Darkstar tried to suck the life out of him. He couldn't. Want to guess why?
Because he had no life in him.
And then he ended up possessing him and then making him look like a chump. The
That-
same guy who had Swamp Fire on his knees turned into a clown because of Ghost Freak.
That was pretty funny. But I still can't put him above Accelerate.
That's fine. I honestly don't like him much more than Accelerate either, but like I do say he belongs in S tier. I would say he's above Heat Blast.
I can accept those terms.
Good enough.
And since Grim took himself out of the picture, we put him right there.
Perfect.
All right. So who's next on our list? Oh,
Ben Wolf, aka Blitzwolfer, even though people don't like that name.
Ben Wolf. That's what it is.
You on the Ben Wolf team?
I am. Especially since
It was-
Ben didn't name him.
Yeah, his name was kind of hastily put together. I think it was like when he was with Kai.
Yeah, and Kai named him.
But,
So
what do you call him? His name is Blitzwolfer. It wasn't even like in the moment where like he was like trying to be cool and all that. He was just like, yeah, no, his name is Blitzwolfer. Yeah,
yeah, it's Ben Wolf.
It's because Ben neglected him for like
Yeah.
the whole series up until Omniverse again.
All right, so Grim, do you wanna kick things off with Ben Wolf?
Go ahead and tell us about the legendary Wolfman.
Oh,
He's tied for my favorite translate alien. It's one of those weird situations where I love both designs. I love both his OG design and the Omniverse design, right? But I also would like to mix and match, because like I don't like how naked the OG one feels, right? I like the fur that the Omniverse one gives him, but the way that the OG splits his mouth open, way cooler. Also, I'm pretty whatever when it comes to Ben Wolf or Blitzwolfer. I call them both. I'll flip flop now and then. But he's a really cool alien. No, I don't like him more than Ultimate Echo Echo. But if Ultimate Echo Echo didn't exist, he'd be my favorite like sonic sound alien. Absolutely stellar idea. A werewolf that his howl is supersonic. Absolutely love that idea. Yeah, no, he's a really solid alien. I freaking love him.
Yeah, he's a good alien. Like unfortunately, it's like one of those things again where he was barely used, and Omniverse gave him the service of being used again. But I feel like the weak spot of that is that he was used because Kai came back.
Yeah.
And back in like the debut episode with the wolf was that transformation was like it was like a slow thing. It wasn't instantaneous. You actually saw Ben go through the phases of becoming Ben Wolf. And that was really interesting because Ben couldn't really use his aliens. If I remember, he was kind of stuck in that form. And then it wasn't until like he fully turned into Ben Wolf that he finally detransformed, and then immediately turned into Cannonbolt and started destroying the other wolf because Cannonbolt is so goated.
yeah.
And there we go. Like then eventually Ben Wolf just only had that one episode in the original series, if I believe. He was used, and then Kai was being absolutely disgusting. And then that was it. That was all we saw of Ben Wolf for a long while, which is a shame because he was a cool alien. Thought we really would have seen a lot more of the Transol aliens, but like we only saw them in their respective episodes,
Yeah.
and they never. Well, uh, no, that's not entirely true, but we'll get to that later. But as for Ben Wolf, yeah, he shows up in there, and we don't see him till Omniverse. He does a lot of cool stuff in Omniverse.
Yeah, he does.
I love how acrobatic he is as well. He's a very acrobatic alien because like he can
Mm-hmm.
grab onto things with his feet, and like it's like, wait a second, isn't that Spider Monkey's job?
Mhm.
But oh well, I mean, a
So
canine who's very athletic.
I
can get
really
behind
like that. I really like that episode with Kai because, it really gave you more of a feel of how they were meant to be together. You know what I mean? And
I don't know. I feel like back then it felt like it was just a one-off thing, and I
well, I'm
kinda
talking about an
agree with that.
omniverse.
Oh well, I mean, I guess, but like, I still don't know how to feel about it. Like even before that, like Ben had a lot of promising relationships, mostly
Mm-hmm.
with Julie or Esther. But then
I
Kai
really,
came along and kind of chucked
I,
that all in the river,
I did like Esther.
and that's why like it all kind of just it's just it's just like a really sore spot for a lot of people. Like I would have much rather been got with one of the other gals than Kai, but like it went how it went, and we got to see Blitzwolf again, which was nice. But I feel like that's the only reason he came back, and I don't know. It's just whatever. Grim, go ahead and take it.
I feel like I feel like him being brought back really was just kind of like, oh, remember this episode in the original? That's kind of how it felt to me. Um, but I still do really like Blitzwolfer, so I can kind of like separate him from that. But overall, I mean, he's a really solid alien. I do really like him. I'd love to put him in S tier, but I just don't know if he really like has earned that. You know what I mean?
We put people
Mm.
that have more screen time and stuff like that in less spots because of their prominence. And with him, he was only used a few times. We got to see. I do love how we got to see the Transel aliens planet and how they all feel about humans as we do about the aliens, which is freaking hilarious. They're like, I
So
love that.
ugly.
Yeah. So, and then when Ben would turn into one of the aliens, he was accepted. And then, but, oh, it was so good. That whole story arc. And to be honest, Ben Wolf for me would probably be a solid B for me because of his screen time. And, he has a lot.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, say what you will, but I give him a solid B.
What about you, Grim?
um, hmm. I feel somewhat similar with him, like I do Ripjaws, but probably not to the same extent. I'd say he would go like right under Ripjaws for me.
Dang.
Were you
Yeah,
putting him
I
in
don't know.
S?
Well, no, I said I'd love to put him in S. I
No,
just
no,
don't
no.
know if he's.
Arson.
Oh,
Seemed like Arson wants to put him in S.
No, I actually wanted to put him in C.
Oh,
wow.
well,
I wanted to put him below Stinkfly.
wow. All right. So when I say solid B, mine would be like mid tier. So I would say probably behind Spider Monkey. So Mm. He would definitely be B tier between the three of us.
Mhm.
But I think he'd be lower than my position. Because there's a lot more aliens in between Spider Monkey and Stinkfly than there is Ripjaws and Spider Monkey.
Mhm.
I'd have to say probably behind. Oh no. Um. This is a tough one. I'd
Yeah.
say either behind Blocks or behind what's his face. Well, I don't know why I can't think of his name right now.
What do you mean? What's his face?
The one behind
Describe
Blocks.
the picture. Wildvine.
Wildvine. I don't know why I couldn't think Wildvine.
You know, the wolf and Wildvine had a little scuffle, right?
Yes.
And Wildvine was winning.
But that's where I think he probably would be placed. Is probably behind Wildvine.
Ah, boy. Look, I'm sorry, man. I don't like Blitzwolfer more than Echo Echo as a Sonic alien.
I mean, fair enough, but I've had to put that aside because if I made all
Even
my
though
decisions based
the
on that,
effects for the Sonic on Ben Wolf are a lot better than Echo Echo. Like you really felt that power.
yeah, but with everybody with their picks, I would say he. Come on, get it in there,
It is there.
right there. So he B tier, more towards the low side, but I don't know what else to say with that one.
Oh, Chromastone. We failed you.
All right, so that brings us to our next one. Ugh, excuse
You
me.
announce it. I'm in a bit of a sore spot right now.
What? You don't like?
Go ahead.
You don't
You
like
got a mouth, don't you?
You don't like the Mummy Man? Oh, come
I'm
on.
waiting.
I don't remember his name right now. I can't. This is why I have you
Snarrow.
guys do it.
What Grim said.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Snarrow. I can't even see him, and yeah, no, it's
Or
Snarrow.
literally
He's-
just like Ben Mummy. Like you could have just said that. Like that's also kind of what he was called at some point
I
before they
mean,
went with
Yeah,
Snarrow.
but Snarrow is a much better name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
but-
Blitzwolfer is the only name people didn't like for the Transl aliens.
What's funny is because he's probably one of my favorites out of them, and I can never remember his name. But I was just calling him the Mummy Man, which is fine. I really enjoy him as an alien. I love how he's probably the best rapper on the earth. Sorry. But I really enjoy this alien. Like he's really good. He's been used quite a lot. And I don't know. I think he's got a lot of prominence.
It's a little unique considering he literally is the Raps. He's not. There's no body under there. That is literally just the Raps. The Raps
Right.
are the alien. They just
Right.
take the shape of a humanoid.
He's cool. I do like him. Like I said, he's been used quite a lot, to my knowledge, and Ben's used him in so many different ways, different unique ways, and stuff like that. I really enjoyed, seeing him on the screen. So
Yeah, aside from Ghost Freak, Snarrow was seen a lot more than the other Transl aliens, which I do appreciate.
mm-hmm.
He was actually in a 10,000 episode when I think Ben's son was hiding somewhere, like in the vents, I think.
Yeah.
And like he got him as like he collected
Oh,
him up
yeah.
like as Snarrow, and I was like, that's nice. I like seeing that. That was some good stuff. That was really heartwarming. But yeah, you see him like his original, like the episode where the mummy originally debuted with like the crystal mutating all life. That Like it mutated the cows. I think it mutated like a night guard. Yeah, it mutated a night guard, and they had to deal with that. And the mummy was like, I thought that was like part of his set, but no, that was just the crystal. Like Snarl on his own is just like, you know, reps and strength, surprising strength. But it is nice seeing him do stuff. Like I like this alien a lot, even though it's literally just a mummy. Like that's just the charm of like literally all the Transsil aliens is that they're literally just like they're like folklore and all that stuff, or you know,
horror
legends and
movies.
yeah, all that. And like I think the thing was, I think some of the Transsil aliens actually inspired most of those customs on Ben's Earth, which was, you know, a pretty neat thing. But ah, he when did he first he transformed into the mummy, I think back in the episode where they went to the space station, I believe. I think he was fighting the wolf, and like he turned into the mummy. And I don't know what he did, but like I think he eventually beat him. And then I think that was it for like uh you know, Snarrow. Then he showed up in the 10,000 episode. And then I think he just didn't show up until Omniverse again, which is just like one of those things. But yeah, what you see is what you get. He doesn't really have many story implications aside from that one episode where he fought against the mummy, but that wasn't Ben. And by that point, like all of the aliens were working together to bring back Zscare so he could have his revenge on Ben. But yeah, he's just kind of there, and I really wish he was used a lot more. He was a really neat alien to see in action, with like the raps and like the way he fights. Uh, but he's really not all that special. Just a guy, just a rappy guy.
He's just
All I
cloth.
say is that you know, he would great use for toilet paper, even though the implications of, you know, not the implications, but him literally being raps would you know, you don't have to go for toilet paper anymore.
Be some weird. I don't know about that.
How would that be seen on Transsil? Would that be considered a war crime?
Probably
more a hate crime than anything.
Yeah. Jeez.
Look, man, I'm just talking. I don't know. You guys can butt in at any second. I'm just kind of rambling to myself here.
We noticed.
I'm just letting you.
I mean, he is the one that's tied with Blitzwolfer. I absolutely love Snarrow. Again, like, he's my favorite. It's on and off between him and Blitzwolfer, but I will say I absolutely love Snarrow's design way more. I think it's simplistic in the best way possible. He is a mummy, but he's a really good-looking mummy. He feels like an alien mummy. Like, that's what I get when I look at him, right? I think he's an easy S tier based on design alone, and I'm not dropping down from that. I know
crazy work, man.
we've done stupider, all right?
Well,
you're really highballing it right now, man. This has been like nothing but highballs. Like, you just really want to throw the aliens up there, like aside from Ghost Freak.
I was literally debating whether if I wanted to put him B or C, and I really like this alien. And wow, that's.
You said you liked it because it was simple, right? But what about Ghost Freak? He was simple too, and you didn't like that.
He looks bald.
What?
To be fair, I like the mummy's look a lot better than Ghost Freak. I think he's got a better look about him.
Yeah.
That's fair enough, but like,
I do like Ghost Freak. I do like Ghost Freak, but his OG design it's not as good as any of Snarrow's designs. His Omniverse design is better. I still don't think it's better than any of Snarrow's designs, but like it's good.
Okay.
I don't think he's S tier. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's fine.
I could go as high as B, but it'd be a low B. And and I really do like him. And he was used enough for me. I think he was a good situational alien to have if you needed to wrap a present, or no, I'm just kidding. If if you needed to wrap things up quickly, how about that?
There you go.
He really came through like that, and I tell you, he's a good one, but he's definitely not S tier to me, not even A tier. So if I was to put him anywhere, it would be right, maybe in front of I Guy, maybe. But that's my opinion, and that's only two parts of that equation. And let's find out the last part.
Below Goop.
Really, an A?
I just let that silence settle in. I
Huh.
guess if we're highballing it, then sure, let's just go with behind Goop.
All
Because
right,
Goop
so
is literally just better.
so where like, because Grim didn't say exactly where in S. Where?
Behind Heat Blast. That's where I was thinking.
Dang!
That's pretty high. All right, let's see here. There's a lot of B, and you got it. So, man, he's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You said behind Goop?
Yup.
9, 10, 11, 12. All right. I would say he would. Oof. Man, with that, that's going to be kind of tricky. I think he's going to be up a little from where you are, Arson, from where his placement is.
Whatever.
The way it looks is, I think he's going to be probably above our favorite munching alien. Not too much ahead of Goop, but at least a placement ahead. So I think he would go. Still stays A, and he would go right there. I think.
It would have been funny if you put him between the Merc and the Perk.
I mean,
I was just about to say it'd been really funny.
No, I think that's about the placement. It's either there or there, and I think it's here. So yeah, all right. So we have placed him in A tier, and now it is time for what's his name, Frankenstrike. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah. So now we move on to Frankenstrike. Who wants to go? I don't care who.
Frankenstrike, he's got like, I wouldn't say a whole lot of potential, but he's got some interesting stuff going for him. I like the idea that, he's an electric alien while also being a super strong alien. While powered up, he's pretty smart too. I think that's really unique. But other than that, like, he's Frankenstein. That's kind of it.
You mean Frankenstein's monster?
Okay.
I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah. I know, but everyone just calls Frankenstein's monster Frankenstein.
Well,
but yeah. Anyway, he's. This is where I would probably agree with Assassin. He's like a low C.
What do you mean agree with me?
He didn't even say anything yet.
That's where you put all of the other ones so far.
Jeez.
Wait, hold on.
Dude, at this point, I don't even know what's going on with the list right now. I'm just confused, and I don't even know where to rank anymore at this point. Got my freaking opinions and everything all over the freaking place. Like, I didn't think Snarrow or Blitzwolfer would have made it like so high. I still agree that Blitzwolfer definitely belongs in B tier, but man, Snarrow got that high, and now like Frankenstrike is going to nearly the bottom of the barrel.
To be fair,
At this point, are we ranking the alien, or are we just ranking?
look, to be fair, I ranked Snarrow a lot lower than you did.
Because he highballed it so much.
Because it's just a good design. And I like the powers.
So when it comes to Frankenstrike, I do like him because he's like a hybrid of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster. It's like he's got the smarts of Frankenstein, and I kind of like that. But in all general, again, it's another a case of not used enough, and I don't know. I like his design. I think it looks kind of cool. And I like his powers. But in all honesty, I do believe he probably is a sea alien. I'll say that. And yeah, so what else do you guys think?
I think his fight scene with Ghost Freak, or Zascara, was really cool. Back in the original series when they were up in the space station.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time he turned into him, and like they were fighting. His electricity did hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like Ghost Freak actually went intangible with Frankenstrike and pulled them both through the freaking hole. That's how Ben stuck to the side with his electromagnetic powers. That was pretty cool. But like, yeah, the coils on his back are actually organic somehow. I don't know, but those aren't just something that the Omnitrix spawned. Those are literally part of him organically. He does get smart. Not as smart as like not as smart as the other smart aliens on the list, but he's pretty up there in smarts.
I like his voice too.
He is in the unique case of having a predator alien that is actually not just a mindless beast in the form of vampire, because vampires species love to just drain all that electricity. Just it's like taking a nice long sip of like a Coke or a Pepsi after a nice like long hot summer day. Like, that's basically what it is. And the unfortunate thing is that, well, unlike the Frankenstrikes literally had to live with that knowledge that they're, I don't know, we're like vampires basically just like the boogeymen for like for like them. It's just like, oh, you'll find the energy sucking vampire underneath your bed or in your closet or whatever. But I mean, his original fight with Ghost Freak was good. I can't really say much about him in Omniverse. He does show up, he does stuff, but like at that point we have Shock Squatch, which is like at that point they're literally both the same thing. So it's kind of just makes it pointless.
You know how fast that match would go between him and Ghostface? Ghostface would be tripping. He would be tripping up all over himself like crazy.
Make him dance with the lightning. But like, yeah, no, like, Frankenstrike was the blueprint, and Shock Squatch was literally the perfected, redefined end result. Like, the only thing that Frankenstrike has is his wicked looks and his IQ. That's all he really has.
But he doesn't have a Canadian accent, so,
Nope. He has a more Victorian accent.
Yeah. I do like his voice. But
yeah, it was good. But yeah, he's like the weaker of the Transsil aliens, which is a shame to say because I guess he could technically be pitted under the brutes category of the aliens, and he would definitely be the weakest. Which sucks to say, but I guess it's the truth. Like until he starts unless he shows up again someday and he starts doing something spectacular, then yeah, he's not going up in the list anytime soon.
To me, I put him above our favorite Sly Stallone frog spy right above him. That's pretty much. Yeah, you
Above
know.
Bullfrag.
Yes.
I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, I think we're on the verge of a D tier here.
Really.
Yeah. Again, he's a cool alien, but like
Mhm.
there are literally like more that are just him but better.
I wanted to
Like
rank him higher than
do you want a smart lightning guy? Go with Brainstorm. You want a tough lightning guy? Go with Shock Squatch.
Shock Squatch. Shock Squatch is so much cooler. I'm sorry, he's so much better, like than Franken Weenie. You know.
I don't
Sorry.
know. You can agree with me at this point. It feels like just a D tier, and that sucks to say. It really does. But like the lack of his screen time and all of that, just he's like the weakest of the Transl aliens, and I
I mean,
hate to say that, but
I do agree with you to some point. But what about you, Grim?
The more I'm looking at it, I think he goes below Spitter.
Really?
yeah, like like take a good look at the list before you rank. Like you guys have been doing that, right?
Yes,
Or
I
have you
have.
just been kind
Yeah.
of whimsying it out? Okay, well then yeah, just put him behind Spitter.
I mean, with Bullfrag, it's gonna put him higher than that. But with you both putting him behind Spitter, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I would say he would go straight behind the worst, like right here.
Dang.
That's that's. I mean, look, I pulled
Oh,
for C,
no.
and there's literally I had to give you guys the edge on that one because of you both being there. It was 2 versus 1, so I had to pull him back, pull him up, you know, pull him back further for me. So there you go. Our first Transylvanian, whatever, however you pronounce it, D tier. And next is one from the Omniverse. So and
You
it's
said
the
the one that the boogeyman in the Frankenstein's
yeah,
closet.
he's the last
Uh,
one.
Vampire.
Vampire. All right, so let's talk about Vampire. We already talked him up a little bit because we know that he is the predator to Frankenstrike, and he's really good. Like he's a really good alien. I enjoyed every scene that he was in. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about him, so I'm going to turn it over to Arson and let him talk about him for a little bit.
Man, aside from his color scheme, I mean, yeah, he's a he's a great alien. One of the most overpowered ones too. The guy can fly, mind control, can do a lot of crazy stuff. Um, one of his biggest glaring weaknesses though is that yeah, he like like traditional vampires in myth, they are quite averse to sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
uh Granted that, he doesn't like disintegrate instantly. He just kind of he slowly dies, but he doesn't completely die, which is
Right.
like, interesting. um he's I don't know, it's weird because like yeah, he's a serious like goofy. He's like serious and goofy, which is like a weird combination for a monster like vampire, especially given his more, his questionable origins. And also, he's, an alien that is basically extinct. Aside from that one other vampire that came
Mm-hmm.
back and tried to take over, like Ben is like the only vampire. It's like a kind of like a cannonball situation where it's just like he's basically an extinct species that's kind of in the watch now because the Scare decided to bring that one guy back, and that was a fantastic idea. But I mean, he's fine. Like I don't feel too strongly about him. It's just like a vampire with like a more goofier side, but that's because it's Ben. And that's really all there is to him.
I am not a
He's
big fan of his color scheme. But his design is
yeah,
cool. But his color
the
scheme
dark
could be a little bit better.
the dark green with the black. I feel like they could have worked on the colors. Like I know like green is basically just like the whole color scheme for Ben and his aliens now in Omniverse, but like they could have twisted the rules a bit to just make it so like the aliens had their unique colors.
Right.
Like it could have worked out, but it's fine. Like
They
whatever.
they
Aside
could have
from
done
that, like
better.
yeah, he's a good alien. He's strong, but like that's all there really is to him. He had like an entire episode, kind of, and he did fight Vilgax, who was wearing malware armor, but didn't really stand a good chance until he got scared back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like he's cool. That's all I really have to say about him. I wouldn't really rank him that high, but I guess we're just gonna have to see what you guys have to say about him.
All right, Grim, you're up. He doesn't think highly of him. All right, go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah, that's how you know.
not really, not really. I think he's fine. I feel like he's probably behind Amphibian for me.
He didn't even give anything. He just says, "You know what?
No,
This is where this tells you how much."
You guys question my reasoning anyway, so
Yeah, but that's the best part about it.
so no more content.
I'd put him in B as well. Not very high. Same.
He also had like unique vision. I think he saw like what was it? The arteries, or like he saw like the veins or something of like the people around him. I don't know. He had unique vision though. That's what I'm trying to say, which was like it was cool. I like when the show does give us like first person perspective of aliens, because it really does show, like with Wild Mutt and
Didn't they do it with Spider Monkey too? Like with the
no, it wasn't Spider Monkey. It was
someone with multiple eyes.
Eye Guy.
Oh, it was Eye Guy. Yeah.
We talked.
Literally the one guy.
With all the
but
eyes.
Yeah, like I love when like it shows us like the first person perspectives of aliens. It really gives a little more insight as to how they perceive the world around them.
I would say he'd probably be behind Chromostone for me. So right around there.
He's an important alien in the sense that like he was like the top dog in Transl like back then.
That's true.
But like ever since like the revolt and all that, and like they basically beat them to near extinction to like down to one guy. That era has for the most part passed. It's not really that important. And by the time Ben came along, and I mean it was a situation for an episode, but he handled it. Turned into atomics, left the sun, and that's really it. That's guy wasn't a problem anymore, and Ben has a nifty new alien.
That was really cool too. I loved how he dealt with that.
Yeah. Vampire is just unique in the sense that he's like he's playing an extinct alien, but he's also playing a predator alien. So I mean, it's neat,
that's his only one too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I guess like at this point, like a lot of the aliens could be considered predators if Ben really wanted to.
Yeah, but they also didn't go into a lot of like they specifically named certain predator aliens and not so I guess you're right about that, but even most of the aliens he has like a predator alien from what what they show at least. So
even Spider Monkey. Spider Monkey does have a predator alien. It's basically the same as the slamworm for Armadillo,
mhm.
but like it's more because like since the spider monkeys are in the trees, arachnochimps, I think that's what they're called. Since the arachnochimps are in the trees, the worm kind of just lunges like a shark and then goes back
Hmm.
down. But yeah, I would love to see like the aliens worlds being discussed and explored. I know there's a series done by Ink Tank, which is like awesome guys who like do a lot of stuff of Ben 10. Like one of their series is like they do like dives into like all these different aliens like homeworlds, and it's really cool. I would like to see like official stuff from like the actual creators. I would love to see like the worlds being explored and told about. But like until then, we have them, and I'm really happy for that because it's really interesting to see the way they do things. I know one of the last episodes I saw was one of Jet Ray and how they're like a courier service. Since like Jet Rays can like go across
DoorDash.
the universe. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's basically what they are. But the thing is, like on their way out,
Galactic DoorDash.
on their way out of their homeworld, they're actually like predator aliens, which are like big whales that like ambush them while they're like trying to go out, and their homeworld is like a crazy like whirlwind of like a planet where like above the sky is like crazy, but since they're so strong they can mostly deal with it. But down in the waters it's like for the most part peaceful, and the jet rays can just like dive in there since they're both aquatic and aerial. And it was just so cool to see, and I really wish we saw more of it.
Mhm.
Like I think Transl is like the closest we got to actually delving into that side of it, and I think that's just what's special about him.
Okay, so where
But
would you
yeah,
place him?
for Vampire, I would place him right behind Eye Guy, bottom of B.
All right, so we all placed him in between all three of these aliens. Um, so he would go probably right above Eye Guy, then exactly where Grim wants him.
I would
um,
say
It,
flipped a coin for it, but unless you have
well,
you could roll your three. You could roll a special three-sided die.
so roll the 4-sided die, and if you get a 4, then it's roller's choice. No, no, but I mean that makes sense because like you and I are on the opposite sides, and Grim is right in the middle, so that would null and void ours, or put him right
That's
still in the
fine.
middle.
I
So,
don't
all
feel
right.
too strong about it.
Well, this brings us to our last alien, or aliens, I should say. We've
It's
got,
basically the same alien.
yeah. So we have, which I like to call like the second one. So we have Way Big. And I don't like Ultimate. I was telling Grim this earlier. I don't like Ultimate Way Big's name. I'd rather call him Way Bigger. I think that'd be cooler.
Way bigger. Maybe if
Way
they got
big
more
and way
creative
bigger.
names for the ultimates, but yeah.
Yeah. But all right, so Way Big. Let's talk about him.
Uh, he's the guy who Ben uses for kaiju fights. That's
Yeah.
all right. But in all seriousness, Toku stars are amazing. I love their design. I love mostly all of their designs. I love the original design more, but like all the other designs are great. He can fire laser beams, which could probably total an entire city.
Way
Uh,
big. Oh, sorry.
they're they're born out of cosmic storms, and that is such a metal thing to learn about. Like, oh, he's such a heavy, like the heaviest hitter alien that Ben has in his arsenal. The biggest one too. Um,
The way biggest.
the way biggest. He appeared back in Secrets of the Omnitrix, that little movie. They went through all that, and then at the end, Ben gets freaking way big and chucks Vilgax somewhere across the galaxy. I don't know where, but good riddance for a while, I guess.
But ever since that moment, he's been like a mainstay
Yep.
in the Ben 10 universe. Like,
Been a very important one too.
yeah, and in the
At least when it comes
Omniverse,
to big ones, big
yeah,
threats,
yeah. Well, in the Omniverse, they had all those Waybigs come out
the way
and
beds,
the Waybads,
and you had to
but
fight them.
I'm just gonna flat out say it. He's definitely S tier.
Oh,
And there's
no doubt about it. Like no doubt about it. I feel like he's an S tier, but like I don't know. It could also be like top of A, mayhaps,
mayhaps.
mayhaps.
Graham, how much do you hate him? Come on, tell us.
I mean,
Alright.
he's
You know what?
alright.
You know what? Fine. I was gonna give my opinion, but since you guys are gonna be like that, whatever. I'm
Maybe you
indifferent. No, I'm
shouldn't be
kidding.
so predictable.
Oh, come on, Pouty McPowderson.
I
Let's do this.
I was actually gonna say I think he should be king of A, but S tier is perfectly fine. I love the fact that he is based off of Jet Jaguar, or just the Super Sentai kind of style of, like
Yup.
action, whatever. I love that. He's got a really good design. Way big. He's cool. I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
He looks like he came out of an episode of frickin' Power Rangers.
Yeah, exactly.
I love his
Um,
original design a lot because it has like the I don't know if you know this, but like he has like that chin thing. Those are actually extra eyes that he has under, so he can see what's under him. And that's pretty neat as
Ah.
well.
that is really neat.
That's why I love the original design a lot because like he does have them in Omniverse, I believe. I don't think he had them in Ultimate Alien Force. But yeah, like he has those so he can like see under him. So yeah, that's like a really neat thing for him to have, and I really like that.
So to me, Way Big is such a big, pun intended, I guess, a big part of the Ben 10 universe. I think he goes underneath Accelerate, like right there. I don't think he belongs like too much further above that, but I think he is, like, power wise, he would be above everybody. Uh, I'm sorry, like, he's just too freaking powerful. Like, he's so huge.
I mean, he is before Alien X and a lot of the heavy hitters. He was like the original most powerful alien in the watch.
Yeah.
That's literally just how he was, and he wasn't too powerful either. He was just a huge alien.
Right. So I do believe, and look, to give him more credibility, what they did in Omniverse with the Way Bads actually makes it a little bit better on his side for the power wise and for everything else. Even though, it is what it is. But I do believe he should go above Upgrade. That's like in S tier. That's where I believe. So
What say you, Grimlock?
I wasn't thinking as high. I was thinking right above Feedback.
okay.
I was
It's
actually
still pretty close, but
I
Yeah.
was thinking right below Feedback.
Interesting.
Because Humongousaur is there, and Humongousaur's I think it has been confirmed that Humongousaur can lift a Toku star.
Mm-hmm.
Humongous Soar is just so awesome too.
Well, maybe not
Yes.
lift them. Maybe I'm kind of, but like they can like lift them off the ground for like a second at least. Maybe
Yeah,
trip them up or
they
something
can't like
like that.
chuck them or anything, but they could still like lift them
Yeah.
up and throw them off balance.
Yeah,
So
If he can do
and
that,
also like it also just comes from the fact that like back with the malware thing, malware annihilated way big. Like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. He annihilated way big, unfortunately, and absorbed him in. And guess who popped right back out?
So with everybody's comments about where they go, I think he'd go right here, right above Mr. Freezer Moth. I don't know why I
I'm
called him
honestly
that.
happy wherever he goes. Like, Way Big is just a great alien all around.
Way Big's right between hot and cold.
Yep.
yeah.
He's somehow the master of both.
Yeah. So okay, that brings us to our last one in Ultimate Way Big.
Now, I can now say for absolute certainty, like unlike most, like I'm a little shoddy on how many times they actually showed up. I can confirm for certain that Ultimate Way Big only appeared one time.
Yeah.
Only ever appeared one time, and he lost. Immediately got domed. He showed off a bit of his power.
But he
did
wasn't
grow bigger.
impressive.
He did grow bigger. He and I mean he leaped for was it Dagon, something like that? I don't know. I
Mhm.
forgot what the name of the Cthulhu man was, but he leaped from and he just spawned acid rain, and that was it. That was
Yeah.
all. That was all Ultimate Way Big had in him.
I feel like that this will be a really quick choice too. So, Graham, you want to talk about him for a second? I will say this. I did like his design. He looks more like, I don't know, like he belongs in an anime or something like that, or like to me he does. He looks more like he is in like an episode of I don't know, Voltron or like, well, I can't remember all of them, but anyway, so Graham, you want to say a comment real quick?
His design is fine. I do like normal Way Big more.
Same.
It's really just the same situation with Big Chill or Ultimate Big Chill, where it's like he shows up, he doesn't do anything different, but in this case he loses.
Yeah,
That's
and
kind of
he
it.
literally doesn't do anything else. If they gave him more, I
Maybe.
would have gave him something higher, like maybe like a larger than usual kaiju or a bigger threat than usual, and he pops out Ultimate Way Big for a big, nasty, absolutely fist flying, maybe an arm breaks or something. I don't know. Like absolutely, I would
Suplex.
have put Ultimate Way Big way up there in the list.
Suplex.
But unfortunately, I think we have another D tier Ultimate Alien on our hands.
Hold on. But if the thing is if we have Ultimate Big Chill at the bottom of C, like I don't know. We can't move him. So
But the thing is with Ultimate Big Chill, at least he has the line, "Ice so cold it burns."
And he does have more scenes. And again, it's just like it's one of those things where there's no real trade-off. He just gets a color swap, and like it's really it. And sure, Ultimate Way Big does grow more, and I guess I don't doubt that he has more power backing him up, but like, what's the trade-off?
all right, so if we're gonna push him into D, then I'm gonna go big on this one. Giggity. I'm gonna put him because I don't mind putting him in D. I know Ultimate Big Chill does not belong at the bottom of C. I think he belongs further down, and I think we all agree with that. But apparently not, because he's at the bottom of C anyways. But I am going to say that he goes right above Ultimate Wild Mutt. Look, you are right
Honestly?
about this. You
Yeah,
are right
that's
about
fair.
this. He lost his only fight he was in, and he may be able to go way bigger, but that doesn't mean better. So if the one time he appears and he loses, like besides like splitting off from the Omnitrix, and they lose that too, right? So like,
Yeah, it's like I said, if like they gave him that fight scene, if I saw some blood fly, that would have been an instant A tier. Even if it
yeah,
was just like he showed up that once. If I saw some violence and he was like holding his own, but even more aggressive than the normal Way Big, instant A tier.
yeah.
But
So
he only shows up once and loses. So
so yeah, I put him right above Ultimate Wild Mutt. What say you
man,
Yeah,
guys?
that's fair. That's
man, I'll
fair.
just slap him there.
So put him there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you got your home here, buddy. And that does it for our final choice of this episode. And as of right now, you should be seeing the list pop up, and you should be able to go through all of our poor choices and comment of how horrible of a tier list that we put together. You know, please be kind. I think we do believe we do. I do believe we deserve some like poor feedback for some of these like choices, but
It's probably been one of the more scratchy ones that we've done.
It's chaotic as all get out. It's so chaotic. But that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here. Thanks for listening. If you've listened this far in, we got one episode left. And
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
It's going to be arguing between Grim and Arson most of the episode, because I will have nothing to do with this episode except for one alien. And that's it. The rest of them, I could care less about. I would make an F tier and put them all there. So, but other than that, you guys have a good week, and we'll see you next week with the last episode of the Ben 10 tier list. You guys have a good one.
Berries.